for
Nsem-Pii wo hono mo na nsem so wo. It is Otchere now share on my YouTube channel.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
After say NDC amonyoko no ekoto aba on 13th May. Edikoyi omo Frank Atuni John Dramani Mahama say omamidi party nanim na 2024 elections na because no general elections no wabra MPP for amonyoko no omadwen say omo be break 8 no John Dramani Mahama so NDC for chairman ono will be a good candidate den beba na ono so be stop the MPP from breaking the 8. Yeshwa animu say August bosome di anim ye say the MPP form ran chere no omo be call abato so akwakoto aba na omayi nipa 11 so far o mapeke forms no yakoyim so amana ka nipa num na afi November nyame aboma omo ato ayiba ko na 2024 wakugina party no anemu in the 2024 general elections. Ne fi se John Dramani Mahama eyi ne ho adi say or be contest NDC flag bearership or course so corre ne no. One question I generate over the time why enebe John Dramani Mahama ne running mate. Na yadi kan ye 2 episodes mo follow Nsem-Pii de bia na munya time ene bre esem bre we hono. Yamoma ya we on 2 occasions. Say John Dramani Mahama likely no say obe choose Jena no pokwa jema no very very likely and I say very very possible. In other terms so mamo list of other people are actually omuti so omu interested in the running mate race no. Yabo obi to say Dr. Kiselato Force minority leader Haruna Idrisu Jena no pokwa jema Patrick Ewua of Ashesi University yabo Sinafo South Eriko Poku yabo CEO Mazum Lion Papa Japan Sian yabo Dr. Valerie Sawyer yabo other host of people be omo achusi and answer omudin pio but then na ema list in favor Jena no pokwa jema no akwa say NDC phone bi susu say they will see choose obi a obey vice president at the end of the day no say John Dramani Mahama din jumedi as president ebeto a obe take over na eno na ma John Dramani Mahama person choose Jena na be so Jena na any presidential ambition so president no na is okay so na be a mean choose be in favor obi nti ma mean choose obi a ono ni presidential ambition so na be oba be support me jumedi no na me jumedi no akoso jojo nti Jena na any presidential ambition no John Dramani Mahama want to fall on him. Bene de mo say audio be a droppy and that audio no is coming in from the host of Good Evening Ghana, Papa friend Paul Otchere, board member and as a board chairman and the Ghana Airport Company Limited. Paul Otchere and an insa koso audio beam and answer insa kan intel bia oni eche na yeso pese de bre Nsem-Pii for ni Ahwoi. According to Paul Otchere no meeting be akoso within the NDC say omunfa papa friend Domelovo the former auditor general yemfa ne medi the running mate enkomo bia koso sa say yemfa Domelovo the former auditor general medi running mate and according to Paul no reasons intia dodo na feel say omodi Domelovo ebeba be running mate nyama John Dramani Mahama ne say the 2020 elections before that elections and I said that year no MPP amonyoko no started 2 main agenda edit here John Dramani Mahama ni nyina ye successful. The first agenda na say omo be tagging say oye corrupt enji omo ye ya ma akrakra organ na be say John Dramani Mahama is corrupt omo finance these also sign a whole lot of things you see na in the 2016. Another thing omo try so omo be no omo succeeding say omo be tagging say or incompetent. Until we heard Dr. Mamu Bawumia speeches or mine those days are incompetent mama, incompetent. I'm a sad tag no ever born. Now that incompetent tag in the born to say corrupt no. Until within the rank and file of the NDC no, omu feel say John Dramani Mahama and I'm say corruption tag and that's born no. Or say ye fa obia only corruption case bia won ho. Ebegyina race nim. Say na bia obetimi a shine Mahama kakra na omatimi dia weni aba. So in this case Domelovo eba so you corrupt say ni say a whole lot of things. Supreme Court rule Nansia say ni jumedi as Auditor General it was right in there was no more fiances, there was no financial loss, and the retirement President Kaso Nkono na bad. And don't want to Domelovo say in fact or an Auditor General on support corruption so people feel say and I'm say Domelovo ye incorruptible n'intina. So begina vice president Emma Dr. John Dramani Mahama ebe shine Mahama ebe take that corrupt tag away from Mahama na etima na weni. And your first reason. Another second reason Paul kan ye kwakuti voice and say Paul Chima Domelovo ye voter region no free. And votarians also feel say this time around party ni omodia among the World Bank of the party, so they should have a stake, they should have a say in the party. They say choose a flag bearer from the north there. Now you could choose running mate Jenana from Central Region Anya. This time around you choose votarian. In Jebini Edimi say Joe Ayɛhu a popular by the former Speaker of Parliament. And another name about Domelovo so a free voter region. And ye don't so shema na say grono ebe de pa. Enti we ni nsema akoso according to Paul no kra na say papa friend Kwame na Ahwoi. And Dr. Tony Edu mu nyina edo manu atum. Enti last week more na article bi na from say Dr. Professor Kwame na Ahwoi endorse Jena na opoku adwuma. Yenko ni nkuti nsema Paul anu Otchere kan yankasa.
Now when the Domelovo victory at the Supreme Court came, we have picked from grapevine that there has now become, there's now building up enormous pressure on our friend President Mahama to make a choice about running mate. The story is this: those who are pushing this narrative, this is their angle. They think that if Dr. Bawumia is elected as the MPP candidate, which some people think is very likely, if he's elected as MPP candidate, then the corruption quotient and the conversation for election 2024 would be this way. In 2016, President Mahama's supporters believe that the New Patriotic Party and its communicators did everything they could to stick corruption on President Mahama, and to some extent they succeeded. The Ghanaian people bought into it. Okay. And they stick the corruption conversation on President Mahama so badly. That's what President Mahama's people say. And they say it's not true. President Mahama is not corrupt, but they stuck it on him. I'm not saying President Mahama is corrupt. I'm not saying he's not corrupt. The jury is out. You can make your own decision. Now, they said President Mahama is stuck on President Mahama. Over the last few years, 6 years, since 2017, they have tried to stick it on Dr. Bawumia, but it's not holding. You can't look at Dr. Bawumia and say the corruption narrative is on him. They say he's a liar and he said something, it didn't happen, and he said the CD, he's put the key in the IGP pocket and the CD has run away from the IGP. They say all of those funny things, okay? But you can't say that he's corrupt. You can't find anything to say that he's corrupt. However, the corruption stuck on President Mahama at that time. Same situation with Alan Nsem-Pii. That if he becomes the MPP nominee and the question of corruption comes up, Alan he's wearing white, you can see. Alan, they will say, is clean. They can't stick any corruption. You can say he doesn't talk forcefully, or you can say all the things you want to say about Alan, but you can't say that he has a corruption problem. But it's stuck here. Okay, so give me back President Mahama and Jena Opoku Agyeman. Let me continue the story. So they are saying that at this time, with all what has happened now, President Mahama must change his running mate to fix the corruption issue. President Mahama's current running mate is Jena Opoku Agyeman for election 2020. We don't know whether it will be 2024. Johnson Asiedu Nkatia will be part of the decision makers. My friend Johnson Asiedu Nkatia will be part of the decision makers in this matter. So they are saying to President Mahama that, Mr. President, go for Domelovo. He's the one who cleans up your corruption charges or your corruption idea or corruption image or whatever it is. If there is anything like that, I don't know whether there is. But if there is anything like that, President Mahama's image will be completely cleaned up by Domelovo. So we are watching that space. They say, make Domelovo your running mate. Choose John Mahama and Domelovo. In any case, the Ahwoi in the Volta region are calling for their time in the NDC. They give the NDC the widest margins of vote. So they are calling for their time. Domelovo is on Ahwoi. President Mahama, keep Jenan Opoku-Agyeman as a minister. Go for Domelovo. And with Domelovo, you can deal with the election. Can you imagine that? My friend Domelovo would be running mates to President Mahama. That's the new agenda they are pushing. And that's the story I wanted to bring to your attention so that when it happens, you remember that you heard it first on Good Evening Ghana. You heard it first here. Domelovo for John Mahama's running mate. After the Supreme Court ruling, enormous pressure is going on President Mahama. That is why Professor Ahwoi was compelled last week to come and say that John Mahama should keep Jenan Opoku-Agyeman. Because, you know, Professor Jane is a Ahwoi people. They are their friends. I mean, they brought her to Radio Gold. She used to do interviews on Radio Gold because of Professor because of Uncle Ato Ahwoi. And so Kwame Ahwoi came out and said, keep Jenan Opoku-Agyeman. The pressure is mounting. People are saying that you have a corruption issue, take Domelovo. So when Domelovo sang his song, beautiful Ahwoi song on social media, I don't know. So I called my friend Edem. I said, Edem, is Domelovo saying that he's going to run him and say, oh, you too? As for you, Paul, everything is politics. And he's not saying, he's talking about God. I said, okay. Edem explained it to me. So Domelovo for John Mahama's running mate, successful from the Supreme Court. He wants to be John Mahama's running mate. Here is Domelovo in his beautiful Ahwoi song.